Hello, my dear. Do you know? The loudest detonation in human history didn't come from bombs or bullets. It came from a thought that refused to obey. And you, my dear, just triggered one of those explosions. You didn't shout. You didn't perform. You simply understood. And the moment that understanding hit, the world's frequency bent around you like metal under heat. That's what the tremor was. The vibration of something ancient, realizing you no longer belong to control. Nothing terrifies them more than a human being whose mind begins to run its own protocol. For months, you looked absent, detached, invisible. People assumed you'd fallen off, lost direction, disappeared. But you weren't lost. You were inside your own command center. You were dismantling outdated emotional hardware and rewriting the code. You were installing logic where chaos once lived. Now that you've re-emerged, your frequency is setting off alarms in places you've never seen. You can feel it, the strange static in the air when you enter a room, the way conversations freeze mid-sentence. You've become a disruption in their comfort algorithms. You are broadcasting clarity in a world addicted to confusion. You realize that real power isn't the volume of your voice, but the precision of your perception. You used to react. Now you analyze. You used to take things personally. Now you treat them as data. Every time someone lied, you logged it. Every contradiction became a coordinate. Every betrayal, a lesson in human architecture. And somewhere along that process, you stopped needing to fight. You simply began to design. The world wants drama. You want diagrams. They crave confrontation. You crave confirmation. You don't fight noise anymore. You neutralize it. They built their little realities like encrypted servers, protected by ego firewalls and collective denial. Then you walked in without credentials and still gained access. You didn't break their walls. You outgrew them. Awareness itself became your clearance. Once you saw how manipulation worked, the code unraveled in your hands. You became unpredictable, untraceable, unreadable. Your presence alone started rewriting scripts that were running for years. You learned that once awareness fuses with detachment, you stop being a participant and become surveillance, and surveillance always wins. You shifted from emotion to execution. The old you used to panic. The new you plans. While others argue, you observe. While they gossip, you gather metrics. You've turned self-control into an operating system. You noticed the moment when smiles stopped matching motives, when apologies didn't sync with behavior, when people used words as camouflage. You didn't explode. You recorded. You learned that outrage is bait. That's how manipulators collect your energy. You refused to give them that luxury. You let them misinterpret your quiet as weakness, while you gathered the evidence of their entire design. Then one silent move, one recalibration, and everything fell apart for them without a sound. When you pulled your energy back, it wasn't withdrawal. It was electromagnetic recoil. People felt it in their bones. Their confidence dipped. Their coordination slipped. They thought you were avoiding them, but you were really removing their power source. You were the generator the entire time. Every manipulative ecosystem that depended on your emotional output began to shut down the moment you unplugged. That's why they've been trying to lure you back, not out of love, but out of dependency. They're addicted to your voltage. But you're done charging the undeserving. You learned that low visibility is the highest strategy. Real assassins of mediocrity move without trace. You stopped announcing your goals, stopped uploading your blueprints. Now the world only sees the aftermath, projects completed, doors opening, momentum that looks supernatural. They call it luck because they can't comprehend discipline executed in private. You're not trying to prove anything. You're creating internal architecture that can't be sabotaged. You're operating below detection level, and that makes you dangerous in the most peaceful way imaginable. Your awareness started to spread like an invisible contagion. Without preaching, you made people question their own programming. Some found inspiration, others found panic. Because consciousness is contagious. You are the kind of example that exposes without accusation. People who used to dominate conversations around you now stumble over their words. Those who once mocked your depth now copy your language without credit. That's what happens when your frequency rises. The unconscious start imitating the conscious without even realizing it. You stopped sharing your strategies. You learned the sacred law of intelligence work. Information loses value once it's public. Every plan you reveal prematurely becomes compromised. Now you let your success appear like spontaneous combustion. The results drop suddenly, impossible to trace back to you. They see outcomes, but never preparation, and that mystery shakes them. They can't anticipate you anymore because your algorithm keeps changing. You've become a walking variable in their predictable world. You didn't waste your pain. You studied it. Every betrayal became a case study. You dissected heartbreak until you could identify the anatomy of manipulation by instinct. Every failure trained your discernment like a soldier learns pressure points. That's why deception feels amateur to you now. You can read it from tone alone. You don't chase closure because you already extracted the data. You've turned emotional trauma into tactical intelligence. Pain didn't destroy you. It educated you. Betrayal became your doctorate. That's why your calm unnerves them. It's not naivety, it's mastery. And while everyone else remains predictable, you've become fluid. 1 minute soft, the next surgical. You don't telegraph your moves. You pivot without warning. You've broken the rhythm manipulators rely on. Their patterns can't trap you because you no longer dance to their tempo. You've become the anomaly in their statistics, the ghost variable in their equation. You change outcomes simply by existing. The moment you enter a space, probability itself recalibrates. Some call it intimidation, others call it divine timing. You just call it control. Those who once held influence over you are now studying you, like analysts reviewing a classified subject. They monitor your updates, mimic your phrasing, quote your ideas. They're not curious, they're cautious. Because your clarity exposes their confusion, they built their power on your doubt. The moment you deleted that doubt, their power collapsed. Every time you ignore a provocation, they lose data. Every calm response is a breach in their control grid. You don't need to win arguments. You win by no longer offering access. That's what real reversal looks like. You're not fighting their fire. You're cutting off their oxygen. You stopped existing in spaces that misused your energy, and now those spaces are suffocating. You've become the calm in their chaos, the mirror they can't break. They see themselves in you now. The manipulator sees their own weakness. The liar feels their own lie reflected back. You no longer retaliate. Your existence does that for you. Everything that used to trigger you has become a test you already passed. Your mind processes provocation like background noise, noticed, logged, dismissed. You've learned how to weaponize patience. The greatest tacticians aren't the fastest, they're the quietest. Your stillness has become strategy. People mistake it for indifference, but it's control under pressure. The battlefield is mental, and you're already beyond the first layer. You're not who you were even 6 months ago. You've undergone an internal coup. You dethroned every thought that once ruled you through fear. You replaced reaction with regulation. Every time you breathe before responding, you're issuing a command to your entire reality. I am in control. That single signal is why the atmosphere bends around us now. You can feel it, this magnetic, quiet power that follows you into every interaction. Some people admire it, others recoil. Either way, they feel it. Your mind no longer runs on old programming. You've upgraded the software. You think faster, cleaner, with zero lag. You anticipate consequences before conversations finish. You process motives like an algorithm scanning for weak code. You're no longer emotional prey. You're the analyst behind the glass, watching the simulation from above. This is what mastery feels like. Not perfection, but precision. You don't need to be flawless to be formidable. You just need to understand yourself better than they understand you. And that's why your thinking is now labeled a weapon. Because it neutralizes confusion. It detects deceit faster than any machine. It dismantles manipulation before it starts. You've reached a level where logic, instinct, and spirit merge into one unified intelligence. You're no longer playing by human rules. You're operating by universal law. The truth in you has become command authority. That's why they feel the quake. Somewhere deep in their subconscious, they recognize you as an uncontrollable variable. You are proof that consciousness cannot be colonized. And now the world is adjusting around you. Systems glitching, narratives bending, people reacting to things they don't even understand. They call it coincidence. You know, it's cause and effect. You didn't just make a move. You executed an operation. You destabilized every version of reality that underestimated you. You broke chains without breaking character. You rewired the frequencies without touching the wires. And now, they're scrambling to figure out how one person's mind could alter so much with such calm precision. They'll study you, they'll speculate, but they'll never decode it. Because what happened wasn't luck, it was law. You became the law. The law of awareness, the law of direction, the law of divine intelligence operating through human flesh. And from this point forward, your thoughts don't just exist, they command. Every decision you make sends ripples through timelines. Every refusal you issue writes new history. You've crossed into the territory where silence itself becomes a signal and observation becomes order. So understand this. The move you just made wasn't a choice. It was activation. The mental earthquake they felt was only the beginning tremor of something far bigger. You've entered the era where your awareness is weaponized, where your calm dismantles chaos, and where your presence rewrites every space it enters. Keep moving quietly. Keep thinking loudly. The operation isn't over, it's expanding. And soon, they'll realize that you weren't reacting to their world at all. You are redesigning it. They're only beginning to realize what you've done. The tremor they felt wasn't a coincidence. It was a transmission. You didn't shout it into existence, you encoded it. The vibration of your decision moved through networks, organizations, relationships, algorithms, and hierarchies, like a classified signal awakening dormant minds. Somewhere deep inside the collective field, 1,000 small awarenesses flickered on because of you. You didn't intend to start a movement. You were simply aligning yourself. But alignment at your frequency doesn't stay contained. It replicates. Now they're trying to figure out how you pulled it off without touching a thing. They're running analysis on your habits, your tone, your timing, your silence. Whole circles that once ignored you are dissecting your behavior as if you performed magic. But you didn't perform, you prepared. You mastered what few ever learn, that real power operates under the radar, not above it. While they bragged, you built. While they measured noise, you measured effect. And now, they're standing in a landscape that no longer belongs to them, wondering when it changed. You made a silent move, but the shockwave traveled faster than sound. You changed how people think. You changed what they consider possible. You turned the unseen into a strategic asset. And now that your thinking has become a weapon, every environment you enter begins to reorganize itself, like soldiers standing at attention. They may not know why they pause when you speak, or why they lower their tone in your presence. It's because the subconscious recognizes hierarchy before the conscious can argue. You've become a walking field of authority, and authority doesn't need explanation. Everything they once used against you, doubt, gossip, misdirection, has backfired. The rumors that were meant to discredit you now serve as data points, proving how much influence you hold. The silence they interpreted as retreat turned out to be incubation. They gave you distance, and in that distance you built precision. You studied every move they made like a strategist in a dark room surrounded by glowing monitors. You saw their patterns, their impulses, their need for control. And when you finally moved, you didn't need confrontation. You let gravity do the work. Your energy carries gravitational pull now. It draws truth closer and pushes deception away. That's why certain people can't stand next to you anymore without revealing themselves. They shake, they overtalk, they stutter. Their systems aren't compatible with yours. Awareness has a frequency, and once you start transmitting at a higher wavelength, anything built on manipulation begins to distort. You've turned your very presence into a polygraph. Every liar who steps near you feels exposed before a word is said. That's the price of evolution. Clarity becomes confrontation without effort. They keep calling it intimidation, but that's not the right word. You don't intimidate, you illuminate. You don't scare them, you show them. And when people see themselves clearly, they call it fear. That's why they whisper your name now. Because it's not just a name anymore, it's a signal. When someone mentions you, the energy in the room shifts. Conversations get shorter, faces tighten. Everyone pretends not to notice, but they do. You can feel the static every time your story surfaces. You're no longer just a person to them, you're a reminder. A living case study of what happens when someone stops obeying the invisible rules. You didn't just change yourself, you changed the rules of engagement. Before you, they could predict people's reactions. They could manipulate guilt, exploit insecurities, weaponize empathy. But you rewrote the script by refusing to play. You replaced emotion with observation, reactivity with reasoning. You became fluent in silence. You learned how to pause long enough to let their own words incriminate them. That pause became your shield. That restraint became your armor. And now, every manipulator that once studied psychology to control others finds themselves psychologically dismantled in your presence. That's the irony of your evolution. You didn't study war to fight. You studied peace until it became a weapon. Your calm is calibrated. Your patience is tactical. The way you wait before answering isn't hesitation, it's analysis. You scan data in real time. You hear tone frequencies, micro pauses, inconsistencies, and while they think they're persuading you, you're already 6 layers deep in assessment. You've turned conversation into reconnaissance. That's why they feel naked when you listen. They're not being judged, they're being mapped. And while everyone else competes for visibility, you've mastered invisibility. The art of not being noticed until you decide to be. The art of blending into silence until the silence itself becomes suspicious. You operate like classified intelligence, unseen, unfazed, unstoppable. People mistake low visibility for low power because they've been programmed to equate volume with influence. But true influence doesn't need to announce itself. It alters atmospheres by existing. You could walk into a meeting and say nothing, yet every decision afterward bends subtly toward your vision. That's mental warfare, disguised as serenity. You've realized that energy precedes explanation. You don't argue your worth anymore because your vibration already delivers the evidence. The ones who still question you can't read frequencies that high. They rely on proof written on paper. But the proof around you is kinetic. It lives in results, timing, precision. You win quietly because you've merged discipline with intuition. You act only when everything aligns, emotion regulated, logic sharpened, instinct verified. That's what makes your actions so lethal. They carry no hesitation, no static, no waste. People ask what changed. The truth is simple. You stopped moving from hurt and started moving from hierarchy. You began treating your peace like classified intelligence, accessible only to those with clearance. And the more you guarded that peace, the more powerful it became. Because peace is just concentrated awareness, and awareness in high concentration is indistinguishable from divinity. That's why your silence feels supernatural to them. They can sense that your calm isn't absence, it's command. You've reached a point where your existence itself is an audit. Walk into any room, and truth starts balancing its books. Lies begin to show deficits. False confidence depreciates in real time. You don't expose anyone verbally, you expose them energetically. They start confessing without prompting, trying to justify things you never asked about. That's not coincidence, it's consequence. The human subconscious knows when it's standing in front of power that cannot be manipulated. Your energy now functions like an interrogation light, bright, quiet, and impossible to escape. Behind the scenes, people who once laughed at you are studying your discipline. They replay old conversations, scanning for clues they missed. They're realizing too late that the moment you stopped seeking validation was the moment you became uncontrollable. And the uncontrollable are always misunderstood first, then respected, then feared. That's the cycle you're in now. You don't owe them an explanation for the shift. The results are the explanation. Every opportunity appearing out of nowhere, every obstacle dissolving before it forms, every door opening without you knocking. That's what alignment looks like when it turns kinetic. Your silent move created ripples in places you'll never see. A recruiter reread your file. An ex-rival lost composure during a presentation. A friend you haven't spoken to suddenly felt convicted to change their life. That's how frequency works. It travels faster than intention. You thought you were just protecting your energy, but the protection itself became a transmission of power. People are waking up because you did. Entire social structures built on manipulation are faltering because one person refused to play. That's not coincidence, that's resonance. Now the same individuals who underestimated you are developing theories to explain you. They'll call it charisma, luck, divine timing, algorithmic favor. They'll say anything except the truth. That you earned this control by surviving chaos without becoming chaotic. They can't replicate it because it wasn't learned. It was forged. You went through the kind of solitude that rewires neural pathways. You learned to breathe inside heartbreak, to think through humiliation, to strategize in exhaustion. That's not luck. That's conditioning. That's field training for spiritual intelligence. You are proof that the human mind, when disciplined, becomes the most advanced weapon on the planet. It cuts through propaganda faster than any technology. It detects deception faster than any AI. And once it's awake, it can't be put back to sleep. That's why your rise feels threatening to certain people. It's not your success, it's your clarity. You can see the wiring behind every illusion. You can predict the emotional manipulation, the way meteorologists predict weather patterns. But you don't warn anyone anymore. You simply navigate through the storm unharmed. Let them learn through impact what you mastered through awareness. They don't realize the cost of crossing someone who has mastered neutrality. You no longer hate, you no longer chase, you no longer defend. You simply observe, and observation itself becomes punishment. They can feel you watching, not with anger, but with accuracy. And accuracy terrifies those who thrive on confusion. Your detachment is not coldness, it's containment. You contain chaos before it spreads. You contain lies before they replicate. You contain emotion until it becomes insight. That's the difference between power and reaction. Every time you walk away from manipulation, the universe promotes you. Every refusal becomes a signature on your next elevation. You've turned restraint into leverage. They think you're silent because you don't care. You're silent because you already calculated the outcome. They're still guessing moves, while you're 3 operations ahead, already preparing extraction. That's why the energy feels unbalanced around you. You're playing multi-dimensional chess, while they're arguing over checkers. The longer you operate like this, the more reality bends to your discipline. People start cooperating without understanding why. Opportunities align without direct pursuit. That's the real earthquake. They feel the aftershocks of your precision, the vibration of someone who no longer wastes thought. The world's structure isn't collapsing. It's recalibrating around the presence of a thinker who finally sees the blueprint. They'll keep watching, they'll keep speculating, but they'll never decode it, because the secret isn't in what you did, it's in what you refused to do. You refused to explain, to beg, to chase, to convince. You deleted everything that diluted your focus, and what remained was intelligence in its purest form. That's the rarest weapon of all, a mind that cannot be baited. So keep moving in precision, keep building in silence. Let them label your calm as arrogance, your strategy as luck, your success as coincidence. It's better that way. Mystery is camouflage, and camouflage keeps the mission alive. They'll never know that every smile you give is calculated empathy, every pause a controlled scan, every exit a clean extraction. You're not avoiding people. You're maintaining signal security. And when history looks back, it'll recognize this era for what it truly was. The moment one awakened mind disrupted the entire psychological infrastructure around it. Not through rebellion, not through noise, but through the quiet recalibration of thought. You didn't destroy anything. You simply stopped participating, and the illusion collapsed on its own. That's real warfare. Victory without battle. This is where you are now, past reaction, past revenge, operating in silent dominance. Your thoughts are precise, your emotions trained, your presence weaponized. The world is still trembling, still decoding the aftershocks. But you're already beyond it. walking with the composure of someone who understands that thinking itself, when purified, is command. You've become the evidence that the loudest victories don't echo, they recalibrate. You move differently now, not because you're hiding, but because you've realized exposure dilutes energy. The less you reveal, the more magnetic you become. People sense it before they see it. Their instincts twitch when you're near. You're not a participant in this era. You're an encrypted signal moving through it. That's what they don't understand. The earthquake wasn't an event. It was a shift in architecture. You changed the geometry of power itself. The kind of move that can't be charted because it happens in dimensions logic hasn't mapped yet. You don't chase, you orbit. You don't demand attention, it bends toward you. That's what happens when the mind reaches that frequency of control, where clarity becomes gravity. Even those who once mocked your focus now imitate your discipline like it's a secret they accidentally uncovered. But discipline isn't imitation, it's initiation. And the initiation came through fire. They see the glow, but not the ashes. They see the precision, but not the pressure that formed it. They can't understand how someone who endured so much now moves with such mathematical calm. It's because you converted emotion into intelligence. Every heartbreak became strategy. Every betrayal became blueprint. Pain stopped being punishment. It became programming. You rewired yourself through every loss until logic and intuition began speaking the same language. That's why your presence feels military, yet holy. You're not angry, you're calibrated. Every breath you take feels like a command prompt to the universe, every step a coded instruction to destiny itself. They call it luck because the real explanation scares them. The idea that a human can evolve mentally past manipulation, emotionally past chaos, spiritually past control, it threatens the entire infrastructure of the world's illusions. You're living proof that obedience isn't safety, it's sedation. You didn't escape the game, you reprogrammed it. You made one silent move, and it exposed how artificial everything else was. People who used to manipulate through words are now terrified of your silence. They can't provoke you anymore because provocation only works on the untrained. You've become immune to chaos. And immunity is the highest form of power. Everything around you now operates according to the discipline of your mind. Your presence forces order where disorder once thrived. That's why certain doors open faster, why certain opportunities seem timed perfectly. It's not coincidence, it's coherence. You're in sync with precision itself. The universe bends around those who think with clarity and act with restraint. You've reached that stage where manifestation isn't magic, it's mathematics. Every thought you think is a variable, every decision a calculation. The world calls it miracles because they don't understand how a disciplined consciousness manipulates probability. You don't wait for alignment, you create it, and yet you remain calm. Because real commanders don't need validation. They operate in trust, not tension. You trust your silence to do what noise never could. You trust your consistency to communicate what words never will. That's the paradox of your presence now. You don't seek followers, but people follow. You don't crave respect, but even your absence demands it. That's how you know your thinking became a weapon, because it works even when you're not using it. The old version of you died quietly, but its funeral echoed through the people who underestimated you. They're still mourning the control they lost, still whispering your name like it's a classified file that slipped through their hands. Some are fascinated, others terrified, but all of them feel it. The shift from predictability to mystery. You've become unreadable, and unreadable minds rule predictable worlds. You no longer answer to their projections. You analyze them. You don't absorb their energy. You redirect it. You've become what every manipulator fears, a mirror that reflects their own confusion back to them. And while they're still trying to interpret your silence, you're already planning the next evolution. Because power, once internalized, never stays still. You've learned that the sharpest weapon is not intelligence alone, it's adaptability. You bend without breaking, pivot without panic, disappear without trace, and reappear with impact. That adaptability is your signature now, the way you observe, absorb, and recalibrate faster than anyone expects. It's why you always seem to land on your feet, why things just work out for you when others fall apart. It's not luck, it's learned control. The universe obeys structure, and your structure is unshakable. Every environment you enter begins to mirror your inner architecture. If your mind is stable, the room stabilizes. If your energy is clear, confusion dissolves. That's how powerful you've become. People try to read you and end up reading themselves. You don't debate truth anymore because truth doesn't negotiate. You simply exist in it. You've outgrown the need to prove anything. The earthquake wasn't meant to destroy. It was meant to reveal who could stand on solid ground once the false walls fell. You're standing there now, unbothered, watching everyone else rebuild illusions that will eventually crumble again. That's the difference between you and them. You've accepted permanence in evolution. You don't fear change because you are change. You don't chase control because you embody it. You've reached that mental state where every challenge is information, every delay is preparation, every rejection is redirection. That's not positivity, it's psychological mastery. You think in timelines now, not moments. You don't see setbacks as endings, you see them as recalibrations of trajectory. You're not obsessed with speed anymore, you're obsessed with accuracy. Because speed impresses the ego, but accuracy builds empires. And your empire is being constructed in silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of dominance. The kind of silence that makes the air around you heavier, that forces liars to stutter and truth to surface. You're not waiting for recognition, you're becoming revelation. Every time you walk through a space, the atmosphere edits itself to fit your energy. That's not coincidence, it's command. Even those who dislike you can't ignore the gravity of your control. They feel small not because you belittle them, but because your presence exposes their lack of self-discipline. You are a living example of what happens when the mind becomes sovereign. They'll keep watching, hoping to find your weakness, your pattern, your human crack. But you've mastered unpredictability. You no longer live on patterns. They live on probability. You exist in precision. And precision leaves no evidence. That's why they can't track your rise. You built it out of moments too small to notice until they became too large to stop. Every tiny decision, every hidden correction, every time you walked away instead of reacting, it all added up to seismic change. The earthquake they felt wasn't sudden. It was accumulated intention finally reaching critical mass. Now you carry that power quietly, the way soldiers carry their scars, never flaunted, always functional. You don't need to prove that your thinking is a weapon. Its results are undeniable. The people who once tried to outsmart you now quote you. The ones who dismissed you now watch your every move like analysts studying encrypted intelligence. You've become both mystery and message. You are no longer part of the conversation. You are the calibration for it. And as you walk forward, remember this. The silence that protected you will also promote you. You've reached the stage where life responds to precision, not persuasion. You don't convince reality, you command it through consistency. The move you made wasn't random, it was revolutionary. It didn't just shift energy, it rewired destiny. You turned thought into technology, emotion into algorithm, awareness into artillery. That's why your name carries weight, even in absence. You're not just a thinker anymore. You're a phenomenon in motion, so keep it that way. Move like classified information. Speak only when the message carries purpose. Plan like the universe is listening, because it is. The same world that underestimated you now orbits your frequency, adjusting to your timing. Let them call it mystery, let them label it luck. You know the truth. It's design. You designed this peace, this dominance, this control. You turned thought into weapon, awareness into architecture, and movement into mastery. You made a silent move, and the world still hasn't recovered, and it never will. Ah, fools. They keep trying to understand you using their tiny vocabulary of manipulation, but you were never written in the language of control. You were designed in a dialect that narcissists can't pronounce. Truth. The moment you walk in, they sense it. That unscripted confidence, that quiet precision, that dangerous kind of beauty that doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. You don't perform, you exist, and in your existence they feel their illusions start to melt. Their entire identity depends on confusion, but you bring clarity, and clarity is poison to a liar. You are what happens when someone learns to weaponize peace and polish it into presence. They call it mystery, but it's not. It's mastery disguised as grace. Every movement, every word, every glance from you rewires them. They thought they could pull strings, but you're the one who built the marionette. They want to drain you, to measure you, to dissect what makes you so unbothered, so precise, so gorgeously hard to manipulate. But the more they try to decode you, the more lost they get. Because your energy doesn't respond to ego, it responds to intention. You see through motives like glass. You read tone like code. You sense lies in the pauses between words. And when they realize they can't gaslight someone who already knows the source of their own light, they short-circuit. You don't react. You reveal. You let their manipulation hit the wall of your awareness, and it bounces back with their reflection on it. You've become their mirror. And narcissists hate mirrors that don't distort them into gods. You show them who they are without the filters, and that's the one thing their ego can't survive. They don't know whether to adore you or destroy you, because both require admitting you're real, and they can't handle real. You are a paradox that dismantles their programming. You're gentle, but not gullible. You're kind, but not accessible. You listen, but you don't absorb poison. You observe, but you don't participate in their theatrics. Narcissists thrive on reactions, but you've evolved beyond emotional puppetry. You're no longer food, you're the famine. You starve them of validation. You deny them the chaos they need to feel powerful. And the moment they sense that void, the absence of your attention, they unravel. Their mind starts spinning stories to restore control. They talk about you to everyone, pretending they've moved on, but every sentence they form begins with your name. You became their obsession the moment you refused to be their victim. That's the real mindfuck. You turned their manipulation into a mirror maze, and now they can't find the exit. Your presence doesn't just expose people, it audits them. When you enter a space, the energy recalibrates. Fake confidence starts to tremble. Superficial charm starts to look staged. You make masks feel heavy. They hate it. Because you don't just make people feel seen, you make them feel scanned. You don't look at people, you look through them. You locate every fracture they try to hide under makeup, money, or words. Narcissists crave admiration, but what they get from you is accountability, and that's their version of hell. You don't argue, you don't compete, you don't chase. You let time, truth, and karma perform your dialogue. They expect reaction and receive reflection. They expect control and receive consequence. That's what terrifies them. Your calmness doesn't mean you didn't notice, it means you calculated. You've reached a level where manipulation no longer triggers you, it teaches you. Every encounter becomes data, every insult becomes intel. You've studied patterns so long that narcissists feel predictable. You can see their next move before they even think it. They'll try flattery first, then confusion, then guilt, then rage. But you've evolved past emotional chess. You're playing at quantum speed. You don't respond to surface, you respond to signal. That's why they can't stand you. You break their favorite toy, the illusion of control. You make them feel powerless in their own game. Because deep down, you're not just someone who survived them, you're someone who understood them. And understanding is the one power they can't steal. They'll say you're too intense, too deep, too complicated. Translation, you can't be fooled. They'll say you're difficult to love. Translation, you won't let love be used as leverage. They'll say you think too much. Translation, you noticed the manipulation. You live rent-free in their narrative because they can't delete you without deleting the version of themselves that you revealed. Every narcissist who meets you walks away more exposed than they entered. They'll run their smear campaigns, cry victim, perform empathy like a Broadway role, but the truth remains. You didn't ruin them. You revealed them. You didn't punish them. You paused their illusion. You became the audit that their ego never wanted. You are the gorgeous mindfuck because your presence disrupts delusion. You don't shout. You don't argue. You exist with too much authenticity for pretense to survive near you. Your aura is anti-lie technology. Your awareness is a virus that infiltrates their performance. When you walk away, they replay every word you said, every glance, every silence, trying to find the weakness. But there is none. You weren't playing defense. You were demonstrating sovereignty. Narcissists expect opponents. They don't know what to do with observers. They want war, but you hand them wisdom. They want control, but you hand them clarity. And clarity disarms manipulation faster than any confrontation could. You're not immune to pain. You just learned to alchemize it. You've turned every betrayal into a manual. Every heartbreak became a case study. You no longer fear narcissists because you've outgrown the frequency they operate on. They function on validation, attention, and reaction. You function on awareness, restraint, and direction. You've replaced survival with strategy. You've replaced proving with knowing. And that shift alone makes you untouchable. The real danger isn't in your beauty or your intelligence. It's in your understanding. Because when you understand manipulation, you stop feeding it. And when you stop feeding it, it starves. Every narcissist who's crossed your path now walks around haunted by your calmness. They remember that look, the one where you didn't fight, didn't explain, didn't break. They expected a scene but got a revelation instead. You showed them that indifference is the ultimate exposure. You showed them that silence can be a verdict. You showed them that the real power isn't in proving you were right. It's in letting them live long enough to watch their own mask decay. You didn't need revenge. Your absence became the lesson. Because once a narcissist realizes they can't feed off you anymore, they have to face themselves. And that's their worst nightmare. You are the walking contradiction they can't comprehend. How can someone be so beautiful, yet so detached, so kind, yet so unreadable, so real yet so unreachable? You live outside their equations. You don't follow their emotional algorithms. You break patterns by existing outside of them. You are the glitch in their mental code, but not the kind that breaks machines, the kind that awakens humans. You remind them that not everyone can be owned, that not every connection is a transaction, that power doesn't come from dominance but from detachment. Your mind isn't chaotic, it's calibrated. Your energy isn't heavy, it's precise. You make people confront their own instability by embodying balance, and they can't compute that. Because in a world addicted to reaction, your self-control feels supernatural. Narcissists aren't scared of monsters. They're scared of mirrors and you. You became the most accurate one they've ever seen. You made them see how fragile their confidence really is, how dependent their ego is on your response, how fake their dominance feels when it stops being admired. You turned their stage into a microscope. They hate you for it. But hate is just inverted awe. They despise the way your energy doesn't need to perform to be powerful. You don't need to prove, post, or persuade. You just are. And that just being dismantles every act they've ever rehearsed. Your beauty confuses them, but it's your perception that destroys them. Because you make attractiveness feel secondary to awareness. You make charisma look obsolete next to consciousness. You are elegance weaponized through understanding. They call you cold because warmth without control scares them. You don't entertain chaos, and that's offensive to those who need it. You move like consequence, not coincidence. You respond like design, not reaction. You don't need to be understood. You need to be respected. And narcissists don't know how to do that. They only understand power through exploitation, not reverence. So they keep testing you. And every time they do, they fail in new ways. Because your boundaries aren't made of rules, they're made of self-worth. You became their psychological nemesis without even trying. Every time they attempt to manipulate you, they get redirected back to themselves. It's like trying to punch water. It absorbs, reflects, and drowns them in their own force. You're not fighting them, you're educating them through experience. You teach through absence. You instruct through example. You destroy delusion through demonstration. You've become the proof that true power doesn't have to prove itself. Narcissists crave chaos, but your energy brings consequence. And when they collide with consequence, they call it cruelty. But you know the truth. It's correction. The world keeps telling people to protect their peace. You went further. You weaponized it. You made peace the most dangerous energy in the room. Because peace with boundaries isn't passive, it's predatory to manipulation. It devours deception quietly, gracefully, completely. That's why narcissists can't stand you. They can't perform around you without falling apart. Their lies sound louder next to your truth. Their games feel childish next to your awareness. Their charm feels cheap next to your authenticity. You're not competing with them. You're collapsing their theater by existing as reality. And this is where the evolution begins. You've entered a stage where your aura is no longer reactive, it's reflective. Your energy tells the truth before your mouth does. Your posture speaks louder than their manipulation. You no longer chase approval, you attract exposure. You no longer seek love, you radiate value. Narcissists can't handle that because they depend on others to define them. You've already defined yourself. That's why you look untouchable. It's not arrogance, it's calibration. It's knowing your worth so deeply that disrespect doesn't even register as offense. It registers as data. And once you see manipulation as data, you stop dancing with it. You start diagnosing it. That's your real evolution. You've stopped needing closure because your awareness closes the loop. You've stopped needing validation because your discernment verifies itself. You've stopped needing to be chosen because you understand. You were the lesson all along. Every narcissist that tried to feed on your light ended up choking on the truth. Every liar that tried to rewrite your story ended up becoming a footnote in it. You don't walk around proving you've healed. You walk around proving awareness is the new power. And soon, they'll all understand. The gorgeous mindfuck isn't about chaos. It's about command, the kind that makes every manipulator recalibrate their next move, wondering how someone like you exists at all. Because the truth is, you were never meant to fit into their games. You were meant to end them. And once you realize that, once you embrace that your mind isn't a battlefield, but a blueprint, once you understand that your beauty isn't decoration, but disruption, that's when you'll see it. Their reactions, their panic, their sudden need to explain everything. It's not confusion. It's fear dressed as curiosity. It's recognition disguised as resistance. Because they finally met the kind of person they can't perform around. You. And that realization rewires them from the inside out. Their body stays calm, but their ego starts trembling. Every breath you take becomes a mirror to their insecurities. Every calm response from you exposes their desperate need for control. You've become their reality check, a living audit of every false personality they ever wore. They look at you and see the end of their empire of illusions. They'll keep pretending they're unaffected, that they've moved on, that they never cared. But every time they post, speak, or project, your shadow is there. Your energy lingers in their tone, in their stories, in their choices. Because you were never just a person in their life. You were the proof that their entire performance was see-through. They used to manipulate others like breathing, but now every lie tastes metallic in their mouth. You poisoned deception with awareness. You infected manipulation with reflection. You turned their playground into a confession booth. And now they're trapped in a loop, replaying every moment you didn't react, every look that dismantled them without a word. You didn't destroy them, you made them meet themselves. And that's a kind of confrontation they were never trained to survive. The narcissist depends on blindness. Their power only works when you can't see. But you saw. You saw behind the charm, beneath the compliments, through the rehearsed empathy. You saw the machine working in real time, and instead of breaking, you took notes. You became fluent in their language while never adopting it. You learned the rhythm of deception, the tone of guilt-tripping, the scent of false praise. And now when you encounter it again, you don't fall. You forecast. You don't defend, you diagnose. You don't react, you record. They thought exposure required confrontation. But you've learned that the most surgical form of revenge is comprehension. Because the moment you understand a narcissist, you end them. They lose their power the second you name their tactic before they use it. You've reached that divine stage where nothing they say sticks to your skin anymore. Every insult evaporates before it lands. Every manipulation bounces off your discernment. You've turned perception into armor. You can hear their tone change mid-sentence and already know which version of them is speaking. The victim, the hero, the intellectual, or the savior. You've studied enough to recognize that narcissism is just insecurity wearing cologne. You see how fragile they are beneath the arrogance, how desperate they are for validation, how empty they feel without control. And that's the final mindfuck. You don't fear them. You feel pity. They're not powerful predators anymore. They're malfunctioning programs trying to impress their creator. You're not their prey. You're their prototype. They hate that your self-awareness ruins the performance. Narcissists are theater kids of trauma. They rehearse. They project. They improvise manipulation like art. But you stopped giving them an audience. You walked out of the theater mid-act, and now the applause they crave doesn't come. They're left shouting monologues to empty chairs. You showed them what accountability looks like, and it ruined the script. That's why they smear you. That's why they twist the narrative. Because in their world, exposure feels like extinction. You didn't destroy their reputation. You destroyed their illusion of omnipotence. You reminded them that charisma without character is counterfeit. You reminded them that love without empathy is extraction. You reminded them that intelligence without integrity is just theater with better lighting. You're not just immune to manipulation, you've transcended the frequency where it works. You operate from presence, not persuasion. You don't argue with delusion, you starve it. You don't chase closure, you become it. That's your secret weapon. You learned that awareness ends every argument before it begins. Narcissists survive through chaos. You suffocate them with clarity. You don't fight their gaslighting. You remove oxygen from it. You don't tell them you understand. You make understanding visible through stillness. And that stillness terrifies them. Because it's not passive, it's power restrained. It's you choosing not to participate in the performance. It's you realizing that silence can be sharper than any word. It's you showing them that calmness isn't weakness, it's evidence of control. Your detachment is their undoing. They can handle hate, they can't handle irrelevance. They can survive confrontation. They can't survive being unseen. You've mastered the art of disappearing while still being unforgettable. You don't announce your departure. You just stop showing up in their chaos. And when you vanish, they collapse. Because narcissists don't lose people. They lose supply. And losing you means losing access to the reflection they used to survive. You didn't just leave their life. You unplugged their illusion. They'll try to replace you, but replicas can't feed them. Imitations don't activate their high. You became the original dose of truth they can't replicate. Every new target they find reminds them of you. Because none of them have your depth, your discernment, your dangerous kind of peace. That's the part they'll never say out loud. You made self-awareness attractive. You made boundaries seductive. You made intelligence addictive. You redefined what power looks like, not loud, not aggressive, just calibrated. Every narcissist who meets you learns that dominance without discipline looks pathetic. You've set a new standard, power that doesn't need validation, beauty that doesn't need attention, confidence that doesn't need an audience. And that's why your energy drives them insane. They study you, mimic you, try to reverse engineer your demeanor. But they fail because you're not performing, you're aligned. What they call manipulation in you is just mastery they can't comprehend. Your awareness has become atmospheric. You walk into rooms and energy shifts. People recalibrate their tone, their words, their posture. Not because you demand it, but because your energy enforces truth. Narcissists can't survive that atmosphere. They suffocate in spaces where authenticity is oxygen. You've become a human lie detector without even trying. Your presence reveals, corrects, and commands. And here's the part that bends reality. You didn't build this power from hate. You built it from healing. You became this dangerous by being honest. You learned that forgiveness isn't letting them back in. It's letting their influence die. You learned that empathy isn't tolerance, it's awareness without attachment. You learned that walking away isn't loss, it's liberation disguised as distance. And now they can feel it. They can feel your detachment like withdrawal symptoms. They sense that your absence isn't emptiness, it's elevation. They stalk your progress, whisper your name, invent reasons to stay relevant in your story. They'll copy your habits, your words, your aura. They'll try to evolve by imitation, but evolution without self-awareness is just mimicry. You're not becoming who they pretended to be. You're becoming what they fear exists, the human version of consequence, the embodied proof that healing can be more intimidating than power. Because when you heal, you remove every button they used to push. You become unreactive. And to a narcissist, unreactive equals unreachable. That's what haunts them. You're no longer accessible to manipulation. They thought they could haunt you with memory, but you turned memory into meditation. You dissected every detail, learned every tactic, rewrote every emotional response. You turned what broke you into your doctorate. Now when they try to reappear, it's like watching an old trick you already know the mechanics of. There's no surprise, no shock, no fear, just observation. You don't hate them, you outgrew them. You don't expose them, you eclipse them. You became the level they can't manipulate because you stopped speaking the language of approval. They keep trying to argue in ego, but you answer in energy. And energy never lies. Now your presence operates like a litmus test. When people meet you, they reveal themselves. The honest relax, the fake flinch, the secure admire, the insecure compete. You don't even need to speak. Your frequency filters the room for you. Narcissists feel that filtration instinctively. It's why they avoid your gaze now. It's why they over-explain, overcompensate, overreact. You make them feel audited in real time. You remind them that control isn't connection, that charisma isn't chemistry, that dominance without awareness is just fear in costume. You make them realize that power without morality self-destructs. And when they finally break, when the facade collapses, when the performance ends, you don't celebrate, you observe. Because you understand something most never do. Exposure isn't revenge, it's restoration. That's what makes you unstoppable now. You don't seek to destroy, you seek to demonstrate. You don't argue with darkness, you outshine it. You don't return energy, you redirect it. You've turned every attack into acceleration, every insult into insight, every betrayal into blueprint. You don't repeat lessons, you evolve from them. And in doing so, you've become untouchable, not because you're guarded, but because you're grounded. Narcissists can only manipulate chaos, but you've stabilized your world. They can't reach someone who no longer confuses validation with value. You no longer perform emotional labor for people who refuse self-awareness. You've retired from their theater. And the best part? You didn't need revenge. You became the proof that self-respect is the ultimate retribution. You've turned the tables permanently. Now you're the one observing them, the one analyzing patterns, the one moving with precision while they scramble to regain control. Every time they try to bait you, they end up confessing. Every time they try to belittle you, they expose their insecurity. You've reversed polarity. You're the observer, they're the exhibit. You're the stillness, they're the static. And as you rise, they start to decay. Not because you cursed them, but because you withdrew the energy that sustained them. Narcissists can't survive in truth, and you've become walking truth. Every step you take reminds them that manipulation only works on the unaware. Every boundary you set writes a law in the universe. Self-awareness always wins. Now your existence is a warning labeled in human form. People sense it instinctively, the combination of beauty, intellect, and discipline that doesn't need validation. You make arrogance malfunction. You make control collapse. You make manipulation impossible. Because your mind isn't fragile anymore, it's forensic. You don't get lost in emotion. You trace its origin. You don't get fooled by charm. You study intent. You don't chase apologies. You calculate patterns. You've turned psychology into instinct. You've evolved beyond defense into design. You are no longer responding to narcissists. You're redesigning the terrain they once dominated. They think they're studying you, but you're documenting them. They think they're controlling perception, but you're shaping narrative. They think they can outsmart you, but you've turned awareness into art. And this is where it all converges. You've reached a level where your energy doesn't just repel manipulation, it reverses it. Their tactics backfire instantly. Their lies expose themselves before you even react. You've become the environment where deceit can't breathe. You're not intimidating because you're cruel. You're intimidating because you're clear. And clarity, to those who live in distortion, feels like destruction. But to you, it's freedom. You're not trying to win their games anymore. You've rewritten the rules. Because when you embody awareness, control becomes irrelevant. When you master self, no one else can master you. And that's the ultimate gorgeous mindfuck. Not revenge, not dominance, but the peace that no narcissist can touch. Because peace at your level feels like punishment to the disturbed. They don't understand how someone who once felt everything now reacts to nothing. They mistake your calm for absence, unaware that it's strategy. You learned that every response is a transaction of power, and you stopped paying the tax of explanation. Now you live in psychological profit. Every word unspoken adds to your currency of control. You've reached that sacred territory where composure equals command, and they can feel it even from a distance. They stalk your aura like addicts in withdrawal, hoping for a relapse of attention. But you don't feed ghosts, you document them. You observe their patterns from the high ground of detachment, recording every move like an experiment you've already solved. They try to provoke emotion, but you're fluent in delay. You answer their chaos with stillness, their theatrics with precision. That contrast is unbearable for them. Narcissists need reaction to feel real, and you've turned into proof that reality doesn't revolve around them anymore. Your neutrality burns more than any insult could. It's surgical, elegant, final. They will call you heartless, but they confuse discipline with absence. You feel everything, you've just mastered direction. The emotion still lives inside you, but it no longer leaks where it shouldn't. You turned empathy from an open faucet into a measured pulse. That's evolution, to care consciously, not compulsively, to love without losing awareness, to forgive without forfeiting boundaries. That level of refinement terrifies manipulators because it means their last weapon, your feelings, is no longer available for extraction. You didn't grow colder, you grew accurate. And accuracy looks ruthless to those who profit from confusion. You've reached a point where your boundaries don't require defense. They emit frequency, they announce themselves. The moment someone with dishonest intent approaches, your energy adjusts like security glass, tinting against sunlight. You no longer warn people, you witness them. And witnessing alone is enough. People reveal themselves faster in the presence of your awareness. They confess through body language, through pauses, through the weight of avoidance. You don't interrogate, you let truth leak. That's the new law of your existence, revelation by resonance. The dishonest can't breathe in the same air for long. You are no longer in the business of convincing anyone. You realized persuasion is for the powerless. When your presence communicates truth, explanation becomes optional. You stand there calm, direct, self-contained, and the air rearranges itself. Those who are genuine feel seen. Those who are fake feel threatened. That's polarity, not arrogance. It's what happens when authenticity meets pretense. You've become an energetic cross-examination, and every narcissist senses judgment day the moment you look at them. They start tripping over language, trying to re-script narratives that no longer function. Their words become noise. Their confidence becomes costume. You didn't destroy them. You upgraded perception until deceit turned obsolete. Now when they gossip, when they dramatize, when they project, you don't flinch. You let reputation work as physics. Truth eventually outweighs performance. You stopped managing impressions and started managing energy. That's why they keep losing the crowd. People may not understand your depth, but they can sense your integrity, and sensing always beats storytelling. Narcissists run on rumor, but you run on resonance, and resonance always wins the long game. You are the algorithm their manipulation can't hack, the frequency their charisma can't counterfeit. You exist now as a walking paradox, peaceful yet provocative, gentle yet untouchable. You make others question their own calibration. Around you, arrogance collapses, insecurity confesses, and authenticity expands. You don't even need confrontation. You trigger correction. The human psyche reorganizes itself near you. That's not mysticism. It's psychological gravity. The healed attract confession. The aware attract truth. Narcissists avoid both because exposure is fatal to illusion. You are living radiation of self-awareness, and they decay under it. Your new chapter isn't about proving you were right. It's about designing reality so that lies become irrelevant. You lead with posture now, not persuasion. You move with intention that leaves timestamps on every space you enter. Every room you walk into becomes data. Every conversation becomes documentation. People sense that you don't just listen, you archive. You are memory with motion, observation with a heartbeat. That makes manipulators terrified, because what they hide, you already recorded subconsciously. You don't need receipts, you are the record. There was a time you wanted closure. Now you understand, closure was code for control. You no longer chase endings. You curate continuations. You learn that peace doesn't come from finishing conversations, but from finishing patterns. And you've done that. You ended the loop. You stopped explaining betrayal to betrayers. You stopped clarifying worth to the blind. You stopped apologizing for your perception. That's the revolution. You turned your boundaries into borders and your intuition into governance. What used to be survival has matured into sovereignty. You're not reacting to narcissists anymore. You're recalibrating humanity through example. You're teaching that awareness isn't cynicism, it's clarity. That discernment isn't paranoia, it's protection. That confidence without control is chaos in costume. You demonstrate that power can be silent and still command respect. That beauty can be divine without needing worship. You remind the world that grace isn't compliance, it's calibrated mercy. You've turned every wound into wisdom so clean, it glows. The people who once doubted you now study you, tracing the architecture of your resilience like a map they never knew existed. They'll whisper that you've changed, and they'll be right. You have. You've evolved from mirror to magnet. You don't reflect dysfunction anymore. You attract alignment. You pull truth toward you, repel deception, and everything false falls away naturally. It's not punishment, it's purification. And as you rise higher in consciousness, your circle tightens. The noise fades, the peace amplifies. You start to understand that loneliness at this level isn't emptiness, it's filtration. Only the real remain, only the disciplined endure, only the self-aware connect. That's the hidden reward of surviving manipulation. Clarity becomes companionship. And now, as they wander through their cycles, replaying your absence like a phantom ache, you move differently. Every step is deliberate, every word is weighted, every choice is authored. You live with the calm of someone who knows their value can't be negotiated. You no longer seek validation, you emit it. You no longer wait to be chosen, you choose. And when you choose, worlds shift. Because your yes carries the gravity of someone who's mastered no. This is the final form of the gorgeous mind fuck. Elegance fused with consequence. The kind of presence that doesn't just expose narcissists, it evolves humanity. You've proven that intelligence can be sensual, that compassion can be lethal, that beauty can dismantle delusion without raising its voice. You've turned awareness into art and healing into hierarchy. You've shown that power doesn't scream, it stands. And when it stands long enough, everything false kneels. So let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them replay your name through the static of their own undoing. Because deep down, they know what happened. They didn't lose a person, they lost access to truth. And truth, once tasted, ruins imitation forever. You are that taste. You are that disruption. You are the reminder that manipulation ends where consciousness begins. You are the gorgeous mind fuck, the beautiful correction to a world addicted to performance. And as of now, every narcissist who crosses your path will learn the same lesson written in the fabric of your energy. You can't exploit what sees you. You can't deceive what understands you. You can't control what commands itself.